Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Dragonheir selling odds video. In today's video, I want to go over Naro, his kit, and kind of like the best ways to actually build him. But I'm going to tell you now, he's an extremely versatile hero, which I personally like a lot. But I guess let's jump into this one. Now, before we jump into it, I do want to mention there's a content creator program support system going on. So if you want to support me as a content creator, you can use code OddOne, as you can see over here at the top right. Just make sure you use capital O's. Costs you nothing, helps me a ton. And, you know, if you do decide to spend, I get like 2% out of that. But you get some free rewards instantly as soon as you do that. So, yeah, don't forget to do that if you want to support me as a favorite content creator. But let's have a look at Naro, because you know what? He seems to be like a really interesting hero, I'm not gonna lie. If you look at his kit, right, let's start out with his kit overall. First thing that I love about him, he has an aura in all battles, 30% max HP, that's huge. That's premium legendary level aura, right? There's not many legendaries in the game that have 30% auras of any kind in all battles. So this one is massive. Then if we look at the passive, obviously, the passive is the one that says every time you land a debuff, you land Empyrean Treads as well, which puts 10% damage penalty. So that sounds pretty good. Then if you look at battle skill, he brings healing prohibition, 100% chance once it's scaled up with some damage. And then on ultimate, this is something that I personally love. And again, it's something that's really good. Full board hit, right? Especially in the next season, there's more and more stuff where full board hits are really important. But full board hit with a 100% chance once scaled up to land attack penalty, and healing everybody by 25% of their max HP, right? The target's max HP. So this is pretty cool overall. From my point of view, right? Just from what I looked at his kit, and from what I tested, I'm going to show you, he seems to be, again, like the most versatile hero, but he seems to be the perfect tank, right? He seems to be a really good tank for the fire and whatever other pairing is. Because if you look at his base stats, he starts with almost 40,000 HP and 1.3k defense. That's high, right? Like if we compare, let me see if I can find a tag like Rippercast. Similar, right? But my Rippercast is inspired too. Let me see if I find another one that specifically tanked the edge. Okay, Urion, good example. 40,000, okay? And then if you look at the Naro, similar, right? So from my point of view, even though, you know, Naro looks like a little bit of everything, I think Naro is actually designated to be a tank. And you know what? That's good. Because if you look at a fire element as a, you know, as a group, there's not too many good tanks, right? Like, if you don't have Chrysos especially, you're kind of screwed, right? Like, Chrysos is definitely the king of that, right? He's amazing. He's a little bit better than Naro. But then if you look at Garika, it's like, okay, Garika, but she's too quirky. Garika's more specifically arena-based. She's not a good tank by any means. Then apart from that, if you look, nobody in the legendary category that's a good tank. Then we go to epics, we have somebody like a Horus or somebody like Captain Jack Sparrow over here in Brody, which obviously they're not the best. So the addition of Naro to the game as a tank as he is really good. So let me show you, for example, the way that I just threw him in the team with the wild team, right? I just put the wild team, put in there Thorin as well. And I just said, okay, let me just go to Venom 20 to see how it actually looks. But as you can see, most of the time, right, you would almost be dead. He managed to survive without having some quirky passive, like, for example, Urion, when he puts block damage or any other stuff. He just straight up survived the hit. Well, look at this. We get a hit. Okay, almost dead. No, boom. He's like, I'm back. I got this. I'm going to heal myself. I'm going to heal myself with the ultimate. Then he also has the exclusive artifact, which helps him heal himself as well. So that's another thing. So you know what? Naro is definitely one of those really, really good tanks that I guess this one was missing. Obviously, my damage dealer choice were not the best, or at least my positioning for them, because, you know, I just put wild. Obviously, you can bring anything you want. You can bring absolutely anything that you want in this team. Just, I believe that, you know, you would personally preferably want to get some AoE damage in here, because otherwise, you know, doing wild and trying to kill it, trying to target the boss might be a little bit different. But the reality is, look at how good of a job Naro does, right? Look at this. I keep wanting to call him Neza, because, you know, it's part of that. He's pretty much based on that folklore. But you can see he does a really good job, right? He does a really good job. He survives. He does just fine in this team. He can keep healing. Normally, for this fight, you kind of need what's it called? You kind of need 3 supports, but in this situation, because of the way that his kit is, and at least the build that I did, he survives, right? Look at this. He does just fine, and I should slowly be killing this boss off. Again, my damage dealer choice are not the best. This is all about a showcase for Naro to show how good he actually is, right? He does, look at this, I just exploded the boss. We did just fine. But you saw this one work just well. I'm gonna go and show you the same principle in a Grave of Curse, right? Grave of Curse is another spot where you kind of really need a solid tank, because otherwise, especially on 20, right? Because I'm showing you stage 20, you need a good tank, because otherwise the boss is just gonna kill you. He's gonna one-shot you. So pretty much I went the same principle. I went with Naro in here, then I brought Dane in order to remove the buffs with his ultimate when the boss puts the buffs up, and then 3 wild people. Normally in this team, I always have Zephy, I always have, Urian and whatnot. Well, this one, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, this I can call pretty free-to-play friendly team because, well, everybody should have a Flora. I'm not gonna lie. If you're in Season 2 and you don't have a Flora, and you're gonna call me in the comments saying this is not free-to-play friendly, it is. You're just silly for not choosing your, Flora in Season 1 to build her because she should be there. Okay, this was bad RNG because, what's his name? For some reason, my Dane decided not to remove the boss's damage up, but I should still be okay, almost. No, okay, we kind of died, but let me go again. The reality is, though, you see what I mean. Naro survives. He is such a good tank, and this time I didn't even use the HP aura. I'm using the attack one. You see that Naro still survives. He tanks it. He's a good tank. I personally believe this is the reality, right? I believe that Naro is a tank for fire, and I think that's going to be his best role. And as a tank, he brings some healing, damage mitigation, self-healing, especially with that exclusive artifact. So I believe he's a perfect addition in this game. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. But I guess let's back out of this one and let me show you kind of like the build, or like, what would be the best builds for him. Now, it kind of depends, because like I said, he's so versatile. He has such a versatility in his kit. It just depends where you want to use him, what area, what principle, what role. He can do a little bit of everything. So if you look, for example, if you want to specifically focus on him doing that damage mitigation and some self-healing, then you kind of want to go with the Lotus Grace, right? His exclusive artifact deals, you won't know, when he deals damage to people have Imperial Treads, he keeps extending it, right? He refreshes it, which means he should be keeping that on all the time. But then at the same time, for each enemy hit by the battle skill, the hero will receive healing, right? So pretty much, I think he just moves a few times, so you can heal up by 30% of your max HP, which is huge. And then you come on the ultimate and, do more healing. He's definitely a massive tank. But now, if you don't want to go this route, then you want to go on the route of like maybe trying to get some shields. If you fight areas where there's not many AoE hits happening, you can try and go with Gatekeeper Staff. However, this is not going to be ideal because his healing is based on the target's max HP. Right now, if you could like give him 100,000 HP and this was like max HP instead of the targets, then Gatekeeper Staff could have worked. But like this, I don't know, maybe you could still use it. I still believe that the perfect artifact for him should just be straight up this, right? Lotus Grace, it is an exclusive artifact, gives him the accuracy that you need to land debuffs, it gives him the HP, it's just the perfect artifact. Now, when it comes to the sets, this is what becomes interesting because you can go so many ways, right? You can go with Ancestral Protection if you want him to soak up the damage from other people. You can go, for example, like I did in the showcase with Thunderous Tenacity, because it gives HP, it gives the accuracy, and then every time he gets hit, he gets ultimate energy, which means he's gonna come back to that full board attack down and healing faster. I personally believe this to be one of the best sets. Then you also have the option of, if you know you're gonna be at max HP, you can try Hope of Oasis. This one I don't really like. I don't like stuff that's only conditional effect, so maybe not this one. This could be another good one, right? To go with Frost Taint, gives you accuracy and resist, and then when it takes damage, has a 50% chance to inflict Frozen. You're gonna get accuracy anyway, so this could be good. Then you can have the option of, going with some mythic pieces. Let me see. Oh yeah, sorry, the support ones. Emissary's Whisper. You can go with this one, because guess what? He lands debuffs, you can get 10% more damage. You can go with Brotherhood Spirit. Same principle, he's gonna be giving our damage. If you go in Fey Meander to use him as a tank because he does full board hit, you can try and go with Holy Hunter set, right? He brings more stunning. You can go with Puppeteer's Inspiration. You get the idea, right? Naro is just, he's the perfect tank for fire. That's what I believe. Obviously, if you have Chrysos, again, Chrysos is going to be better. But if you don't have, if you're someone that doesn't have Chrysos, Naro is going to be the perfect tank for, you know, if you want to do something specific with fire for most of the dungeons, for when the Chief Challenges are going to come out. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a good tank for that as well. Oh yeah, and then for the mythic artifacts, maybe a Mona Lisa's Teardrop, weapon or helmet is going to help just to keep him alive in case it gets dodgy. Or even, you know, if you want to try and do a mix of having him do damage as well, because you're going to give him accuracy, the magic, what's it called? Magic Crystal or Energy Siphoner, right? Whatever the name is. This one's going to be good because he can convert accuracy into attack. And guess what? All of his, you know, damage is going to be based off of attack. So if you're going to get lots of accuracy, 300% of 300, that's going to be what? 900 more attacks, almost 1,000 more attacks. So, you know, it can be really helpful. But that's pretty much it, right? That's what I believe Naro is. I believe he's a really solid tank. I believe the best builds for him are going to be stuff like this, where, you know, you get him tanky, get him with accuracy, and he's going to tank up everything. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. But I guess we're gonna leave it at this for now. Thank you for watching. Oh yeah, one last thing I want to mention. In Vortex, unfortunately, he doesn't really work with Wild. The reality is, what he brings for the sake of Temporal Vortex is not enough to be able to count him as the only support, right? That's the reality. As the only support, he just doesn't do enough. He doesn't do enough healing. He does bring enough damage negation, but healing and shielding, he just doesn't bring enough from a little bit that I've tested. So that's why I believe solo support for Vortex. Now really you're still going to be better off with just breaking 5 and synergy and bringing Ogok, or, you know, if you have Chrysos, obviously Chrysos, or Adolphus later on. But you know what, I don't know, maybe I need to test out more. Let me know in the comments down below if you want me to test out more to see if I can make him work for Vortex. But for now, I don't think Vortex is a spot. But anyway, we're gonna leave it at this. Thank you for watching. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next. Again, don't forget to use code OddOne to support me as a content creator if you want to. And I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.